Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
This entire military is one cohesive, dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gabfest show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. We have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We've seen war. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities.
Turnbuckles and stogies. Yo, what is up? What is up? Yo, happy Sunday. Another Sunday with your favorite hostess with the mostest.
My dad, I'm doing a wrestling punch. I looked and I said, hey. I'm on a Brooklyn, New York.
We're not in Brooklyn, sir. We're in upstate New York in Dutchess County. I'm originally from Yonkers. Hung out in the park.
Wait a minute. I guess you guys don't know each other that well.
Oh,
Give me some time.
yo, what is up? What is up, yo? This is your host with the most, the big dog, the vanilla gorilla. We are here, Turnbuckles and Stogies Pod, another Sunday, fucking Sunday.
In a different location.
Listen, in a different location.
As you can see behind us.
As you can see, we got some stuff behind us that y'all never seen before. And I can't tell you where we are. It's an undisclosed location for right now. Right now, give us some time. We're going to let you know as the week.
They're nice enough to let us film here.
As the week progresses, we'll put it out there. But right now, it's a secret location. And for y'all that know, y'all know. And y'all that don't know, go fuck yourself.
I'm just sharing it out for everybody to see the link.
So what is going on? It's fucking Sunday. There's no football. There's no fucking hockey. No baseball. What?
Actually, there is baseball.
What? Yeah, it's only spring training. That don't
preseason.
Count. That don't count. That don't fucking count. So today I'm smoking Gloria Cubana, 6x60, Maduro, Sirius R. So we just chilling.
Now that is not our guest cigar. I just didn't have a chance to run out and grab some. With everything going on, we forgot to order them. So that's on us. That's on us.
It's all right. I'll let it slide.
That's on us.
I'll let it fucking slide.
Like I said.
But
it's okay.
Shout out
it's
to
a brand we've heard
shout
about.
out to our new sponsor for today, Blue Moon.
That's not our sponsor today.
Our sponsor today is Blue Moon.
That's not our sponsor.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Blue Moon's our sponsor for today.
No, it's not.
Shout out to BAMF Cigars, one of our major sponsors. He had his grand opening this weekend. I heard it went really well. Shout out to NBR Radio, our producer, our sponsor, Northeast Streaming Network. Who else do I got to shout out? Jesus Christmas. My mind is going crazy right now.
Once I get the updated logo that you guys see in the corner, that'll be up on the merchandise store. That'll be all updated and the new logo will be up there. Maybe we'll bring back the old designs for one time only.
One time.
Or once a year we'll bring them back so you guys can own the original designs of our podcast.
That everybody thought that we were only going to be a one-hit wonder, do it like once or twice. We're going on 2 fucking years.
We'll be year 2 in August or September, I believe.
2 motherfucking years. Who would have thunk that? I wouldn't. And I'm getting ready to be retarded in 2 months. I'll be retarded in 2 months. Just so y'all know.
Ooh. So, excuse me.
God bless him. He's drinking his fucking. He's drinking his shithole coffee.
It's not shithole coffee.
He's drinking it from McDonald's. Fuck does McDonald's know about coffee?
What the fuck does a gas station know about coffee?
Fucking gas station coffee.
Doesn't know anything.
It's the best motherfucking coffee in the world.
Mm-mm.
It's thick. It's fucking dope.
No.
And it gives you energy.
It's disgusting.
That's what you say. That's not what I say.
It's disgusting.
I worked in gas stations all my life.
That sounds like a you problem. So as I put in the notes for today's show,
What notes?
you have
You didn't give me no notes.
on the caption for the episode.
You didn't give me no notes. I'm the fucking owner. Why I don't have notes?
I run and produce the show. You don't need notes.
I need notes.
No, you
I'm the
don't.
owner. I need to know what the fuck is going on.
I tell you what to do.
I pay the bills.
No, you don't. I tell you what to do.
And I pay the bills. I
No,
sign the
you
fucking
don't.
checks.
I don't get paid from this. Sorry.
You're right. You don't.
So you don't sign anything. You just sit there.
He's
I
right.
run and produce the show.
He's right. I just tell him who to put on.
You don't even do that.
Shit. Most of the guests are my guests.
No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
You want to go back and check?
Mm-mm.
You want to go back and check?
Most of them were mine.
You want to go back and check?
I'm the one that booked out from January of last year till like March or April.
And you only fucking did that because our third co-host said, "Oh, you can't have these men." Don't
No,
go there.
I did that because
Don't
it needed
go
to be
there.
done anyway.
So anyway, this is what we do. This is why everybody loves our podcast. Because, and by the way, so being that he's not going to set it up, I'm going to set it up. In 3 weeks, we are doing a giveaway.
Oh, I didn't forget about that.
In 3 weeks.
I wanted
them.
consistent live show weeks
Count
before
them.
we did it.
1, 2, 3. In 3 weeks, we're doing a giveaway. I haven't decided where I'm giving
I
away
already know
yet.
what we have to give away. We already have one we have to give away.
I might give away a cooler.
No, that's not what we're supposed to give away. We already have something we were told to give away that they gave us already.
Who?
Kimchi. So it's not a cooler.
That's the cooler door.
No, it's not.
What is it?
It's the other one that's sitting in the other room, the small one. It's not that. We're not giving that away.
Okay.
I didn't forget about that. I want to have a couple of live shows in a row before we
Because
did
you know
that.
fucking Easter's coming up too.
That's why I wasn't doing it.
Okay.
I was trying to make sure we had consistent live shows in a row.
Well, let's get to the fucking show. Let's get to the fucking show.
Well, you have next weekend. You have, I think it's next weekend is Elimination Chamber,
Yes.
and then the weekend after that is AEW Revolution. And both of those cards have shaped up to be pretty.
Well, he
Pretty
also
good.
cut some people this week after SmackDown.
Who?
Triple H. He made the announcements. He cut some other people after this week.
What do you mean cut people?
He cut them. They no longer work for WWE.
Oh, releases.
Yeah, he cut them.
There was nobody that's on the show though.
Shout out to Sonya Deville. I don't know why they cut her.
Well, there's a lot of people they cut, but that's besides the point. That's a whole nother story that you could do an hour and a half on. We don't have that time today.
Well, we have fucking as much time as we want.
No, we don't.
Just to show overlap, and then we'll just have to replay it.
Mm-mm.
That's all.
No, we don't have that much time.
We have as much time as I want to put on.
No, we don't. We have networks to appease.
I'll talk to the owners.
We have networks to appease.
Fuck them networks.
You want to tell them that so that we can get kicked off the network?
No.
All right, then. So sit back and shut the fuck up and don't say anything.
Mind your business.
I run the show, not you.
I'm the boss.
No, you don't.
I am the boss.
So can you produce and run the show by yourself?
Absolutely.
That's a fucking lie. You can't even work a cell phone.
How do you do that?
Exactly.
You just hit dial or hit the phone
Exactly.
number. You
So-
just say, hey, Siri, call this number.
Exactly.
See,
So
Siri popped up.
just
Siri, shut the fuck up.
just sit there and mind your business. I run the show, not you.
Siri said they can't find Mind Your Business in the contacts.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be – the Chamber's going to be good, both of them, the men's and women's. WrestleMania is so far is Jay and Gunther and Charlotte and Tiffany if she holds on to the belt long enough.
I don't think Tiff's holding that belt.
I do.
Think Charlotte's not going to beat her?
No, I think she's going to hold it till Mania, and then she'll lose.
To who?
To Charlotte. She'll hold it till Mania and lose. If I'm right.
Well, maybe you're not right.
And then you have Jay and Gunther for the belt, which means Jay will probably get the crowning moment at Mania for the belt because he's come just short of every single time. So they'll probably give him his payoff at Mania.
Now, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's his name showed back up?
Who?
The so-called
Solo.
Solo. And got canned by fucking
Cody.
He got clotheslined by Jacob the other night.
That wasn't last night. That was 2 weeks ago when he came back. Friday night, they wrestled in a tag team match.
And he got clotheslined by him.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
No,
I watched it.
I watched that match. He didn't get clotheslined by him.
And then The Rock showed up last Friday
Yeah,
night.
he didn't get clotheslined by Jacob, though. That was the week before.
The Rock and
what
Roman
Rock is-
Reigns showed up.
No, Roman wasn't there.
So then what was I watching?
I don't know what you were watching because Roman wasn't there. Roman's not going to come back until after the Chamber.
Fucking internet sucks.
Well, you believe everything that comes out
No,
of it.
I don't.
So
I
yes,
just watch the fucking.
No, you believe everything that comes off the internet.
I just watch whatever the fuck is up there. I don't give a
And
fuck.
insist that it's all the right stuff.
Yeah, mind your business.
So,
Mind your business.
yeah, Rock is trying to reform the corporation. He wants Cody to be his corporate champion.
And I don't think that's happened.
I do.
Rock said, "I'm your boss."
I do think that's going to
The
happen.
Rock said, "I'm your boss, and I'm also your friend. I brought your family to Moana, to Hawaii, to see."
What rerun bullshit were you watching?
Yo, mind your business.
He doesn't even know what he was watching
Coop,
at all.
Coop, mind your fucking business.
So,
mind your business, Coop.
I think that'll happen. He'll reform the corporation somehow. And I think Cody will be the front man for that. And then it'll be like Rock did, and he'll turn on him, and that's what'll happen. He'll go
Take
on
the
his
title?
own. No, he'll do like Rock did with Vince, and he'll be the corporate champion for a while, and then he'll turn on Vince and go on his own.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. They're trying to run the NWO again. It's not happening.
They're not running the NWO. That's not going to
Fuck
happen.
Hulk Hogan, you racist fuck.
That's not even a part of this conversation.
I'm just saying.
That's not a part of this conversation.
Just
though.
saying.
No.
Anybody buys tickets to see Hulk Hogan or buys his beers,
That's not even a part of this conversation.
I'm just saying.
I know, but that's not part of
I
this.
wouldn't buy Hulk Hogan's beers if you gave me
Right, but that's not
fucking $20
right,
to buy.
but that's not part of this conversation.
Let's go. Move on to the next story, producer.
I've been moved on. You're the one that's stuck on
Move
that
on to
story.
the next story, producer.
We covered that like 3 weeks ago, and you just keep bringing it up every chance you get.
This is our podcast. This is what we do.
No, this is you just harping on one thing instead of moving past it.
Okay, let's move past it. Now that we're
Can
past
you
it.
move past it?
Sure, let's go.
You sure about that?
Next storyline.
Sure about that?
Next storyline.
Oh, no, we're going to take a break.
Speaking of beer,
We're going to take a
I
break,
didn't hear what he said.
and then you'll answer that question when we come back.
Staring out, there's a hotel window, many floors above. What's missing down there is love. Thinking through the smoke that fills my mind. Don't worry, it's not my first time. it's all inside. Heaven and hell. What happened to that angel when he fell? Give it just one try. Tell me you don't like it. Be God for a moment and don't despise it. Adios amigo, so glad I seen you. I won't be seeing you around. Adios amigo, I've been looking for you since I stepped foot in this town. Step outside and breathe. Play a little in the street. Hope it's not me they're sending. Move on from over there. Give the kids a little scare. Oh, these fences, they need mending. Adios, amigo. So glad I seen you. I won't be seeing you around. Adios, amigo. I've been looking for you since I stepped foot in this town. Adios, amigo. So glad I seen you. I won't be seeing you around. Adios, amigo. I've been looking for you since I stepped foot in this town.
Yo, 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 yo. What is up? What is up? Welcome back to Turnbuckles and Stogies Pod. We are here in an undisclosed location. So check this out. Speaking of beer, one too many in the morning. Nah, bro. Never one too many. It's Sunday. Listen, I'll be retarded in 2 months. I'll be retarded in 2 months. There's never a time for beer, bro.
Yes, there is.
Whoa. Slow down, Mr. Worker. I'll be retarded in 2 months, so we'll be good. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Turnbuckles and Stogies Pod. We're going to bring in our guest right now, Mr. Mo Patina, CEO and founder of Patina Cigars. Let's do it.
Gentlemen,
What's going on, bro?
you guys, you should have told me. If I was going to have to wait this long, I would have brought a book, pillow. I mean, I'm coming in off the top rope over here.
Listen. Whoa, first of all, let's slow down a little bit, killer. Slow down a little bit, killer.
What's going on, guys? How are you today?
What's happening? We appreciate you coming on, taking time out your busy schedule. I know
Thank you for having me.
Fucking man. I know you.
What's that?
I said, I know you're a busy fucking man.
Never too busy for you guys. Is that a locker behind you?
Yes, it
You're in a
is.
cigar shop, aren't you?
We are.
I like it.
We are in the back room of a shop that we belong to as members.
Oh, that's cool.
It's members only.
Yeah, it's a members only lounge.
That's cool. You guys ever watch that show Reacher on
Yes.
on Amazon Prime?
With Thad Castle.
With who?
With the guy that played Thad Castle in Blue Mountain State.
Well, I don't know, Alan, the big motherfucker. Yeah. So I was watching season 3, and speaking of members only, one of the guys that works for the feds had this sick members only jacket, and it almost made me want to get one. I remember like my dad.
Oh yes.
And I'm just like, man, I kind of want one of those. Those look pretty cool, man.
Listen, that's like when I used to go to Latin Quarters, and you had the members only, the Cavariccis, the Sergio Valente shoes. You kidding me?
It was a lifestyle, man.
That was a lifestyle, dog. Walk in and you walk out with some chick, and then you go back in and you move on to the next one.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So Mo, let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
How did you get into making your own cigars?
Some might call it stupidity. Some might call it drive. I call it just kind of happened. Everyone's got to say, no, it actually all started with a podcast, believe it or not. So in 2014, a buddy of mine and myself, my buddy Drew, we started a cigar review site called Sultans of Smoke. At that time, man, there wasn't really a lot of smaller outfits doing the types of stuff we were doing. We made our rating system based off of Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. That was our rating system. So the boutiques were really coming on at that time. They were really starting to make some headway into the cigar world. And man, we were some of the first people to ever like review Southern Draw and Black Label and Fratello and all that stuff, because that was all coming out. House of Emilio, all that whole portfolio at that time. So we took that and then started a podcast. The podcast actually started in 2015. And through that, we hooked up with James Brown from Black Label Trading.
Okay.
And James had just bought the first Oveja Negra factory and had agreed to make a cigar for us, for our podcast. And man, that's really how it all started. And from that, you know, you make connections and things like that. And I was sick of the corporate world. I just didn't want to do that whole shit anymore. And excuse my language, but I'm probably going to swear a lot, so I'm sorry.
Listen,
that's what it is.
This is a podcast that we don't give a fuck what you say.
Yeah, so that's kind of how it happened. I mean, short story. That's how it happened. So I went down to Nicaragua. I met with different factories. And that's how it all started, man. And went from there. And that was 2016, really, the process accelerated. And then 2017 officially launched. So
what did you do before you got into cigars?
I'm a CPA by education.
By education.
By education. So I investigated corporate fraud for the first few years out of school, and then I traded corn, soybeans, and wheat for a grain company.
Nice.
So yeah, that's what I did.
So how did you come up with the name? And I see it in your profile.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your last name?
Mm-mm. So Mallory's my last name, but the Patina comes from the notion, man, that like people look at the Statue of Liberty. They look at, the lions in front of the Chicago Art Institute or whatever. They got this beautiful like greenish color to them or whatever. That wasn't the original color, right? That was the oxidation process of Patina. So my thing was always like, man, life's going to throw you a bunch of weird shit. And like my beard is gray now. My beard wasn't always gray. There was a point in time before all this fucking stress and nonsense that I was pretty chill, you know. And anyway, so man, it's like your patina, right? My gray beard is my patina because over time my beard changed, right, through the process of aging, right? And so that's our life. Patina's really our life, man, because no matter how much patina we have, we're still ourselves. I'm still Mo. I just might look a little different. Statue of Liberty is still a Statue of Liberty. It's just green instead of copper. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, it's just about embracing age and getting into, I mean, cigars are typically better aged, not all of them. Some of them or they have a point to where they're no longer at their peak, right, man? But I think people, like, we have this mindset that it's like getting old sucks, or getting it, and it's really not. I mean, for me, it's not the case. I think it's beautiful. I think you enjoy every step of the journey, man, and every step is different. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're still interested, or you still want to be like who you were 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever, why, man? You're never going back. You can't. Embrace where you're at now and where you're going, or else you're just going to beat yourself up for no fucking reason.
Correct. So, you know, like now, I'll be retired in 2 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, enjoy it.
You know, I've never thought I can ever say that I'll be retired. You know what I mean? And, you know, is it scary? It is, because I'm waking up and going to work and, you know, expecting a paycheck every 2 weeks.
Yep.
Now I have to go out there and do something else. Everybody said, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to go to work for the school system. They said, why are you going to work for the school system? I said, why not?
Right.
They said, but you're getting a pension. I said, that's nice. Why wait every month when I can get a paycheck every week or every 2 weeks?
100%.
You know what I mean? So that's the thing, man. Like, you know, people don't realize, you know, the cigar world is good.
Yep.
Unless you're like one of the big names and you're making money hand over fist.
Well, I mean, as the saying goes, what everybody says is, in order to make $1 million, you have to spend $5.
So there's a lot of truth to that. You know, number one, man, this is not an industry that is fast money.
Right.
I have seen so many people come into this thing with all these wild expectations, and I think you need to be realistic. I always joke with people, you have money, you have no inventory. You have no inventory, you have money. Well, you can't continue to make money if you don't have inventory, right? So it's this constant. But the thing is, man, if you're doing this to get rich, it's not the right place.
That's what everybody has said that we've asked that question to.
You know what I mean? It's just not that. The key for me is something that you truly love, and I'm not even going to use the word passion. I think passions come and go, right? But it's a love, man. It's a love for it. But it was never. I knew what it was before I got into it. Man, I pull up Half Wheel every fucking day, and all of a sudden, this is coming out, and this is coming out.
Oh, I know.
And I'm just like, man, maybe people thought that about Patina, right? But at the time, it was funny, man, because at the time it was still like I was on the front end of the second wave of boutiques, if that makes sense. The first wave was like the legends, man, like Jonathan Drew and Matt Booth and Pete Johnson and Dion Giolotto and you know, obviously Nick Melillo and Steve Saka and those guys, right? But then there was like that second wave, right? And that's kind of where we jumped in. And I just don't know, man. I don't know. If you're doing this for money, you're in the wrong business. There's many other ways you can make a lot more money much easier. That's what I would say.
Right.
You know, the way I look at this is, for me, this is kind of like a hobby. Like I enjoy cigars. I enjoy going to lounges.
But again, it's a hobby. But with this podcast, it's almost become sort of a business aspect for us too.
Right. Well, that's different though.
Right. That's what I mean. Like it's a hobby that we kind of took in along with wrestling. So we kind of took it and made it one aspect and maybe one sort of business venture.
Sure.
And, everybody asks me, like, what are you going to do? I'm like, well, besides this, you know, the goal would be to maybe have my own line of cigars and then maybe have my own lounge. You know, kind of build. Somebody said, well, what does that mean? I said, you know, my eventual goal, if everything works out right, and we all know how planning ahead goes, it never really works out that way. I said, but the eventual goal would be to have like a little empire of lounges and my own line of cigars and the podcast, and always have something generating the income.
Okay.
So there's always money coming in.
Right. Well, yes. But those are you have to run each of those components completely differently.
Right.
Because each one of them takes a different skill set to make it work. And each one of them requires a different mentality, man.
It does. It does.
So I you know, none of it is, I mean, these are things that people are already doing. It just takes that, it just takes the right mindset and you know, how do you want to accomplish it?
Right.
But if you think that there's a blanket approach, it's just impossible. It's just not.
No, I've always said there's never a blanket approach. Like I always knew there's not a blanket approach to that.
Right.
Because I had worked on the sales side of the industry for a little while.
Okay.
And I know that it doesn't, you know, it's not something that happens overnight. Like a lounge is eventually doable. Like we have a friend of ours who, the way he got his lounge in Florida, he owns his own cigar company. His lounge is separate.
Sure.
But he wound up buying a lounge that was closing down.
Right.
And that's how he was able to get his foot in the door of lounges. And then he's got a partner that runs his lounges for him.
Right.
Like he opened one, he put a guy in charge of that. Now he opened a second one, but that guy is overseeing the lounge as his business partner in that aspect.
Right, right.
And that's the eventual goal, is to do something along those lines. Obviously, you know, down the line once the names are out and everything's there.
But Joey, what do you do now?
Right now, I actually work for the school system.
Okay. So how do you?
I was doing the cigars on the side at one point.
Right, right. Okay.
On my weekends, I would go out, or I would email during the week when I had days off.
Yeah.
A lot of my stuff was communicated through email because everything got emailed from me to the owner of the company, and he sent out all the samples.
Sure, yeah, I get that. Yeah, you were like a broker.
It's never worked out.
Which again, it's a tough market up here. That's the problem.
Fuck yeah, it is. You're in a brutal tax state.
It's the fucking, and I tell everybody, I'm like, don't get me wrong. I said I love doing it. I said, but
where are you at?
New York is a hard.
Oh, I'm in Illinois. I'm in Chicago. I know all about shit taxes.
Yeah, so you know exactly what you know exactly how it works.
Yeah.
Everybody's like,
it sucks.
Nothing up by you. I'm like, dude, I tried my ass off to get up here. I said it doesn't work because it's fucking expensive.
They got a bill right now. They're trying to up the OTP from 36 to 45, which is still nothing compared to you guys.
75%, bro.
Yeah.
I was hearing they want to up it to like 95 or 125.
Yeah. So I'll tell you, man. I don't know. Up until 2017, I think it was, or something like that. Minnesota had a 90-something% OTP tax that destroyed the cigar market up there. You know, and what sucks, man, is New York. Number one, the size of the state and the population.
Yeah.
And I know you guys, I think, are upstate, but you're originally from the New York City area or around, right? That's a huge market to destroy, you know, and then people are just going to start buying online.
That's what I was just going to say is, you know, people say to guys like us, how do you get around, you know, paying those, not get around, they're like, but how do you avoid buying so much where you are? I said, I go to my local shops, I buy a couple of things here and there to, you know, hold me over.
Right.
But most of my shit is bought online.
Or I go to Jersey.
I said, or I drive to Jersey, Connecticut, or Pennsylvania. I said, because of an hour of each border.
So the logic of these people is so flawed. And it's just pure silliness. It really is, man. Look, they need to make themselves seem valuable. Let's pick on somebody that really can't fight back.
Right. And now there's a bill in, I think, the Senate in New York that, or it's going to go across the governor's desk or through the House now to put a max cap at 50 cents a cigar, because they're killing the market. Like, we went to a shop that we were talking to one of the guys there, and you know, they had I think we were doing the podcast, they were promoting one of the cigars they had on sale, which was the Arley Quinn from Fratello. And he was telling us, dude, that cigar, because it was like $17.50 a stick.
Yeah. He's
like, do you know why it's that price? I was like, no, actually. I said, I'm curious now. He was like, that cigar, let's just say, costs us $6. He was like, we got to pay another $6 on top of that, or $7 on top of that for the taxes. So now it goes from a $10 cigar or an $8 cigar to a $20 cigar because of the markup on the pricing and everything else. I'm like, wow. I'm like, that's insane.
So, you know, the effect is twofold, man, because now, let's say a guy could afford to spend $50 a week on cigars, let's just say, all right? So that used to get a guy maybe 4 or 5 cigars, let's just say, depending. But now it's getting him 3 cigars.
I was just going to say, you're lucky if you get 3, maybe 4, depending on the shop you go to. They might throw you one here and give you a discount on one here.
Yeah, it's just nuts, man. I mean, look, there's a whole conversation that could be had about
1,000%.
The injustices of the system and how it works and all of that. But, you know, that's a whole separate.
So tell us a little bit about Patina cigars.
Yeah, man. So we started off with the Connecticut and the Habano. And I'm a big believer, like, I was never really a Connecticut guy, even though that's what I'm smoking right now, my Connecticut. But this is what the brand was built on. And I think if you want to have a chance to truly make it, you have to have a good mild cigar or a good Connecticut, in my opinion. If you look at the majority of people that smoke cigars, the majority of box buyers, they're going to be people that smoke mild or medium cigars. The people with the most disposable income to buy the most number of cigars, right?
Right.
So then I did the Maduro in 2020. So I released that during COVID. And COVID, I had the cigar slated to release, man, and then COVID came.
And now that's the rustic Maduro, right?
Yeah, so that's the name of the size. So the rustic is a 5x52.
I only know because my buddy bought a whole box and was smoking it for like the last week and a half on Instagram.
Oh, who Badass?
Yeah, that's one of my very good friends.
Oh, okay, yeah. So he actually did the 4x50, which is called the Precipitation.
So when I told you I was looking at boxes, that's what I was looking at.
Okay, yeah.
Because I was like, well, what's the prices on a box? I said, because, you know, I'm like, if a 5-pack, because I know average 5-packs for everybody across the board is about that $50 mark. So I'm like, well, if a 5-pack is $50, let me see what a box is. And then I seen it was like a box of 16 for 100 and I think it was like 120 or 140, something like that, from Atlantic or something. I was like, well, for that, I'm like, I'm better off just buying a box, because to buy 2 5-packs doesn't make sense.
Right, and it just depends on what your preference is size-wise, right, for the cigar. I mean, that little Firecracker, man, that thing is awesome.
Well, I used to be a 6x60 guy, 770. Like I used to do a lot of the big ring gauges.
Yeah.
And then when I ventured into the industry working for a company,
I
really got started with like more of the Toros and the Robustos and the Lanceros and stuff like that. And then it changed my perception.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, I still smoke my big ring gauges,
right?
But I don't smoke them as often anymore.
Who did you work for?
I worked for a small boutique company out of Florida.
Okay, what?
It was Tampano Cigars.
I don't think I know them.
Yeah, he wasn't. I was trying to get him in the market up here. Things didn't work out.
So I get it, man.
We split ways, and it is what it is. I tell everybody I have no ill will. You know, I wish the guy nothing but the best.
I need to tell you. So people, like, man, I was telling this. I was on a podcast not long ago, a few months ago. And the guy's like, oh, man, what would you tell people that want to get into whatever? I'd be like, dude, if you don't have thick skin.
Yes.
Because the amount of rejection you face and all of that.
All the no's is it'll beat you down.
It is. And if you think it's not going to fuck with you.
Bullshit.
You're lying to yourself. Of course it is.
You're full of shit because I had applied for a marketing firm at one point. I thought it was marketing because I like marketing. I was going, you know, they're like, oh, we work with sports teams and this. I'm like, perfect. Yeah. I like sports. That's what I would love to do at some point is if I could do a sports entertainment marketing. That's what I thought it was. Turned out to be a sales job. And this is where I learned, you know, how to take no as it is what it is. Was that job. I was selling cell phones in like BJ's and Sam's Clubs.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
So I used to be told no all the time.
Man, you have to learn how to, 100%, bro.
It does. It fucks with your head. And I'll tell everybody that right now. It fucks with you. And like you said and like I said, if you say it doesn't, you're full of shit.
You're a liar.
You're lying to yourself to make yourself feel better.
100%. And what's weird, man, you want to lie to you want to lie to somebody else. That's one thing. Yeah. You start lying to yourself. You're in a bad place.
I was just gonna say, basically, you've killed what you've already tried to build up within minutes.
100%.
Because, you know, going from that and then having, you know, I worked a lot of my cigar experience for business-wise like that was during COVID.
Right.
So, you know, I had a smoke shop up the road from my house. Got a walk-in humidor and everything. I knew the owners. We were the first two guys that helped him, you know, kind of build up his cigar business.
Right.
So I called him. I said, hey, I'm working for a cigar company. I want to put my cigars in there. Can we make this happen? And this is and again, this is something that was going to come up eventually anyway, because I was going to ask that. Your relationships with the shop owners, whether it's a smoke shop, a lounge, or everything, is what comes into play when you're ready to put cigars in there.
Sure.
Because I made that phone call, and he was like, yeah, let's do it. He was like, you know, no problem. Whatever you want, you have all the space you want.
Right.
So I got him. We brought him in. I called him. I said, hey, the cigar's there? He said, yep. I said, all right, Wally, I'll be down in, you know, I said, leave him in the box. I'll be down to set him out with you. He goes, okay. And again, that relationship came into play. He goes, where do you want to put him? I said, well, the question is, where do you want them? He said, wherever you want to put him. I said, can we put him in front of the window? He goes, yeah, let's go ahead, put him in front of the window. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I tell everybody is in this business, whether it's the podcasting, whether it's, you know, reviewers, whether it's guys like yourself who own their own companies, the relationships are a key thing for you to have in that business.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, people are like, oh, but you have them now. I said, yeah, but just because I built those relationships. Because I had call me, yo, can you help me get my cigars in there? And I've smoked them. I'm like, dude, I'm not standing behind a product that I don't enjoy.
Sure.
I'm like, you know, everybody that I've promoted, you know, I brought on cigar companies that their cigars are okay. They were nothing to write home about. But you know what? They wanted to come on. I gave you the platform. I don't mind giving you the platform because everybody needs to start somewhere.
Yes, and I think people forget that.
Exactly. A lot of people do. You know, and they're like, well, and you know, we had a cigar we had gotten from somebody a couple years ago. They weren't stored the greatest. You know, they were, when we got them, they cracked on us. They blew open.
Yeah.
You know, my dad had just got one recently from somebody that was 2 years old, but was taken off the market because quality wasn't good.
Mm-hmm.
So it broke and everything else. I told him, I said, just email the guy or send him a message and say, hey, you know, this, that, and the third. The guy reached out and sent us a 3-pack and was like, listen, just give me an opportunity to give you a second shot.
Right.
Let me make it up to you and show you that, you know, our cigars are good, that this guy just screwed it up for everybody. And I was like, once I smoked it yesterday, I texted him. I said, hey, bro, listen, you impressed me. I said, and I appreciate you, you know, sending us the 3-pack. And he was like, you know, thank you. I appreciate you guys giving me a second shot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because there are companies that may have an off day or you may get an off couple from a box. Like, it just happens.
Of course it does.
It happens.
Man. Hell yeah, it does.
It happens.
That's just part of it. How'd it go, big dog?
Did y'all miss me? I know
I did. I mean, well, first of all, was it regular? You all right?
I'm good.
Good. All right. That's important.
You know,
Is
I
it-
have to talk to the bartender that's here, and then
okay. I thought maybe you took a bathroom break.
that too. I had to take that too.
You got to make sure, you know, as we get older, Joey, it becomes more and more important that you're regular, that you're establishing.
Well, listen. On that note, we have to take a commercial break.
And then we'll come back and go more into.
And I come back with Mo.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans, white with foam, godless America, my home sweet home. Stand
Yo, what is up? What is up? Yo, this is your fucking favorite motherfucking podcast on a Sunday. This is Turnbuckles and Stogies with your motherfucking host with the most, the big dog, the vanilla gorilla. Look at this motherfucker. 6'6", 375 fucking pounds.
I ain't that big.
Listen,
I'm not that big.
y'all motherfuckers don't want none of this shit.
I'm not
this
that
shit is
big.
55 years
I'm
old.
not that big.
55 years old and still got a
hold on.
motherfucking punch.
Let's stop that fact. I ain't that big.
Is that your build, height, and weight, or is that your real height and weight?
That's every time he does something, my weight changes and it just keeps going up. But I'm really not.
Listen,
I'm really not that big.
Mo.
Yeah.
When you're in the wrestling world,
Listen, man. When I was a kid or young, the Attitude Era was kind of like the prevailing at the time of The Rock and Austin.
That's like my favorite thing ever to watch.
So
Triple H, so that was kind of my generation.
I was in the WWE. I was in NWA. I was in TNA.
Oh no shit!
Well, you remember in TNA?
I didn't make TNA, but I've done everything else. So
That's awesome.
I've been billed from 250 to 350.
You were billed at about 425.
And then one day I was billed at 425.
But you were actually 425.
So then one day I had my ring announcer. We did a show. We did a house show in Blackstone, Mass. He comes out and he starts announcing me. And I walked out and I said, yo, do me a favor. Just shut the fuck up. Don't ever announce me again. And he looks and he goes, oh, okay. And I said, give me the microphone and get the fuck out of my way.
So now so where we left off with the Maduros, the rustic Maduros. Now that's that size. Now the 4x, what is it? 4x50?
4x50. Yeah, 4x50.
The little ones.
Now,
what made you do? Because I've noticed a few of them are boxes of 16. Is there a reason for that?
At the time, so twofold. One, at the time when Patina launched, smaller box counts were kind of the thing, right? People were gravitating towards smaller box counts and made it easier for people.
Like
11
counts, things like that.
100%, man. So like people really wanted the smaller box counts. We wanted to be able to buy boxes easier. Because, you get into the 20, 25 cigars in a box. Number one, it's expensive. And number two, it's a lot of one thing, right? So, man, that was part of it. But also the factory my cigars were originally made at, which was Mombacho, they had like 16 steps on the factory was an old mansion in Granada, Nicaragua. So that's where that came from. That was well done. They had a nice little bass to it. Not as melodic as I would like it, but yeah. So man, yeah. So that's where that came from. But now, because of the cost of boxes, you're seeing the box counts kind of go up again.
Yeah.
Like my Oro de Nicaragua that I released last year is a 20 count.
Actually, I was going to ask you about that one because I know I've seen the Maduros that he was smoking. They weren't as dark as that one.
Yeah. So
now, is that one more of a fuller body Maduro, the Nicaragua de Oro?
No. So that one is a Habano Oscuro. So it's a very dark Habano.
Downtown Rick, what's up, my boy?
Yeah.
Okay, no, because I had seen you, like, as you were posting a few different cigars as you were smoking them, I was noticing, and then all of a sudden I saw that one, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm like, that's a little darker than the other ones. I'm like, so, I was like, I was wondering if that was more of a fuller body or.
Yeah, man, it is. So the way I looked at it was you have to have an evolution, man, over, right? So now at this point, it's about coming out with some fuller body stuff because that's the market that now I got to focus on that market, right? So my Maduro is more of a smooth Maduro. It's flavorful. It's got all of that, but you can smoke it any time of the day.
Right. That's a good thing to have for guys who like to light up Maduros in the morning.
Mark,
100%.
Badass Cigar Life just lit one of your cigars up
He's been lighting them up for the
the-
last like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think he bought a box from.
He did.
Yeah.
He sent
Or
from Atlantic. He sent it to me. He sent me as I was looking him up. He sent me. He goes, "Here, I'll make it easy for you." And I said, "Bro, that's literally the same link I have pulled up on my phone that I'm staring at right now."
Yeah, that size is awesome. I love that 4x50. But look at it. So then the Sumatra came out. The Sumatra is, it's I don't know, it's just smooth as hell and a lot of flavor. I don't know how else.
Now that's the blue one, right? The blue.
That's
label?
the blue box. Yep. And then the Oro de Nicaragua. Funny story about, not funny, but kind of how that came to be. So I worked retail in a cigar shop to learn retail when I decided to launch Patina. And the shop that I worked for, their house blend was an Oro de Nicaragua. That was their house cigar, but it was made by my father. So my father had made that cigar for them.
Okay.
And they stopped making it in 2017 or beginning of 2018. I can't remember. It was somewhere along those lines. Because I think they were still, no, actually, I was there in 2016. They stopped making it in 2017, I believe. So that name lay dormant, man, for 6 years, 7 years, whatever. So I had approached them. I said, "Hey, man, can I make because that name meant a lot to me. That name, before I worked for them, I was a consumer. I was a member at their lounge, right? So from 2013 or 14, whenever I joined, whatever. And I was like, can I make one for you guys? Because that name means a lot to me. That name opened up the door to boutique cigars for me, right? Like that's how I found out about Tatuaje and Illusione and all of these brands that shaped Patina, right? I mean, it was huge. So they're like, yeah, make us one. We'll maybe resurrect the name. So that conversation turned into where I just actually bought the name from them. So yeah, that's how the Oro de Nicaragua came to be. Now the blend is not the same as the original that my father had done or anything.
It's a revised blend.
It's my twist, yeah. But it's yeah, man. So that's kind of how that came to be.
So now, where can we find your stuff in New York and New Jersey?
So New Jersey, Ramsey
Cigar World, which is Hina, which
Cigar
I saw.
World.
She has I think one box of the Connecticut's that you're smoking, but the short ones, the 4x.
Oh yeah, the precipitate. Yeah, those are awesome. Man.
Yes,
those
I think that's what she has. I seen them when I was walking through one day.
Yeah, man. Listen, I'm a cold weather state like you guys, so having those, how that size came to be. We had a polar vortex in 2019, and I was buying little shorties from other brands. And I'm like, fuck this, man. Why don't we just make one? You know? So that's how that came to be. I love those things, man, especially for the winter and stuff. But Lit Cigar Lounge in Swedesboro.
Yep.
Okay.
And then Smoking Dog has a little bit out, but that's South Jersey. That's more near Philly. And then in New York, man, I don't think we have anybody anymore. Used to be in Matadors.
Yep.
But after the whole tax thing,
those are all the ones down on Long Island and Staten Island.
Yes.
Over there.
Yeah. But after the tax thing, man, it's been an uphill battle over there. So
yeah, it's that's what everybody is. New York is the biggest uphill battle. They're like everywhere else is so easy.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. Yeah. Maybe for some people.
They've told us it's a lot easier to get in the other states than it is New York because of the taxing.
Of course, yeah, bro. I mean, and then you gotta remember.
We'll try to get you in here. You know what I mean? Frank is open to trying new stuff. We'll try to get you in here. We'll talk offline about that because he does have a few. He does have a few conditions.
Anyway, so
you know what I mean?
I'm gonna after the show, I send you guys a thank you package. So you'll be getting cigars. Feel free to share them as you may, or keep them for yourselves. That doesn't matter. That's up to you. Obviously, without guys like you, the opportunities to get the name out of the brand are harder. And opportunities like this, man, are a huge help for us because we're not advertising in Cigar Aficionado. The time on the road helps,
Right.
but it's very expensive. And travel has gotten more and more expensive each year, except during COVID.
That's part of it. So hard for a lot of companies to keep reps now is because of all of the travel expenses between whether it's driving them and then them driving and reimbursing them and then putting them up in a hotel for the weekend or a week, whatever.
100%, man. Look, it takes, you got to spend money to make money in finding that balance. But in this post-COVID cigar consumption, right, things have changed. It's not the same as it was before COVID. People got used to buying cigars certain ways. They got used to consuming cigars certain ways that were just different than before COVID. The world is different, man. And it's just you gotta accept that new reality and try to work within it.
It is, and it's weird because like it was so before it was all brick and mortars and everything else. Now it's a lot of it is online.
Yeah, it is.
You see brick and mortars closing every so often. Like I know a place in Pennsylvania just closed not long ago that a lot of people used to go to.
Lou's Cigar Shop.
No, not Lou too, but Caravan.
Caravan closed.
Caravan closed?
Yeah.
Oh man.
They closed.
I like Brian. Brian's a nice guy.
Lou Liga's Cigar Lounge. He sold his lounge and shut down.
Did he? Was he in PA or was he? I thought he was in Delaware for some reason.
No, Lou was in Fishtown.
Oh,
in PA.
Okay.
He closed down and shut down. I think he's working. He's working for a company now. Actually, I think he wound up working for somebody. It's crazy that a lot of places are because of, like you said, because of that post-COVID atmosphere. A lot of places are shutting down.
Well, the question, look, man. The question is this: how are you as a brick and mortar? How are you going to differentiate yourself? Are you creating an experience that cultivates loyalty from your customer? In other words, your customer has to love coming by you so much that they're willing to pay a little bit extra.
Absolutely.
Correct.
And not only that, but you also have a selection that is attractive to your consumer.
Yes.
Not just what you're getting the best deal on.
Right.
Not just what you like to smoke.
Exactly.
And if I were...
You have to be open to bringing in new things as well.
See, and that's the thing, Mo. Like, a lot of people, they bring in cigars that they like to smoke. They don't bring in cigars that the consumer likes to smoke.
100%, man. You got to. I mean, like I said, I work retail. Our best sellers were stuff that I didn't smoke. You're there to run a business, man. You're there to sell to people what they want.
Right. And a lot of people don't see like that. They're like, oh, if this is my palate, that's what I'm smoking. No, that's not Joey's palate. That's not Joe Smokatelli's palate. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and it's a tough position for, consumers to be, not consumers so much, but shop owners or brand owners, because you're trying to blend for your palate, but at the same time blend for everybody else's. And not only that, like as a person who's like worked on the manufacturer side, going into shops and looking around, you start to realize that a lot of these people that work in some of these shops don't know what they're talking about. They don't know either anything about cigars, or they only smoke, let's just say, flavored ones. And when you ask them about, like your cigar or a punch or a Drew Estate, they can't tell you anything.
No, I mean, man, that has changed too. When you would go into cigar shops, it used to be people that were truly passionate about cigars. You didn't work in a cigar shop unless you wanted to be in a cigar shop.
Nope.
Now it's a little bit different.
That vape shit.
That's man, I see that all over. It's so crazy. But it's just different, bro. Like that's it. It's just different.
It is.
And you just gotta Work through it. That's it. But
it's tough. But you all, everybody goes through it. You guys, us as consumers, retailers. Like there's a shop that I go to in Connecticut. The guy used to have 5 or 6 people working for him. Then during COVID, he let a couple go because there wasn't a lot of business.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's got nobody working for him. It's just him who's the owner.
And then Joey applied and he goes, "You're too experienced."
Well, no, it's not that I was too experienced. I was overqualified because I had already worked on the manufacturer side.
Okay.
Overqualified for him. And he said, I asked him when I was looking for a job, I'm like, well, let me work retail. Because like you said, I love cigars. I would have no problem working in a shop all day.
Right.
And when I texted him, he's like, why don't you come talk to me in person? Because I've been going to him for years. He knows me. He's like, as a friend, I figured I owed you an explanation in person.
Right.
And you know what? There's a lot of people that won't do that.
Yeah.
And he said to me, he goes, listen, it's not that I don't want you. He goes, trust me, I would love to have you. He said, but you're overqualified now because you've already worked on the manufacturer side. Going to retail for you is like a step back.
But again, not if your long-term goal is to have your own shop.
Right.
You gotta put in the legwork to learn retail,
right.
man.
And you know what? I had no problem doing that. But I understood he wanted somebody
that he could train.
He wanted somebody that didn't know a lot. That
you're too expensive.
That he could build up.
You're too expensive.
And you know what? Correct. Listen, I don't mind that.
That's okay.
No, it is.
Right.
And you know what?
Yeah.
And for him to do that for me in person,
100%.
Showed me not only does he have the respect for me, but he's also a stand-up guy.
100%, dude. That's a boss move.
Listen, I still go to his shop all the time because he's got shit I haven't seen in years.
Yeah, man. I mean, but okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You just said I go to his shop because he has stuff that I can't get anywhere. Man,
yes.
Online should be a last resort to order cigars.
Yes.
Let's just say, unless you live in an area that's rural and
right.
all of that, and I understand that. It should be a part of your budget, ordering online, right? But it has become almost entirely because, man, why? My shop only carries this, and this. But I want this, and this.
Right.
Listen
and,
to your
he's got stuff that's 10, 15 years old that, I found when I started smoking almost 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's been around for like 30 years.
Man, it's awesome.
And he's got that old stuff, like the old, Oktoberfest.
Oh, yeah.
He's got the old Sam Lucia stuff.
Yeah. Oh, the luchador and stuff like that.
I buy them like 4 or 5 at a time.
Yeah,
I told him I don't want to buy the boxes because if I buy the boxes, then I'm going to smoke them too fast, and then I won't help anymore.
No, I get it.
I said, so if I buy them a couple at a time, I said, you just store them for me. And he laughs. I said, you just store them for me, and I just come buy them.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what I mean. Like he's got the stuff that you can't find, or stuff that doesn't exist anymore.
Are you in Buttheads in Connecticut?
Who's that?
Buttheads?
No, never heard of it.
That's the shop in Connecticut that we go to.
You need to send him an email.
No, okay. Buttheads?
I'll find his email and I'll send it over.
All right, yeah, man. Sounds good.
That's one of those shops that, like you said, I go to because he's got not only the stuff I can't find, but he gets also like he'll get like exclusive that only certain shops are supposed to get, but he gets it because he does so much business with a lot of these companies.
Right.
That like if let's just say it's a West Coast exclusive because he does so much business, every once in a while he'll get stuff like that.
Right. No, that's cool.
That, and they'll go, okay. Like they're not gonna tell him no.
Bro, he had so much juice that there was a rep that came there and he was like, yeah, I don't want to hear no more. Get somebody else.
She was doing stuff that she shouldn't have been doing and ordering shit that he didn't need. And he told her no numerous times. And she didn't listen. So he called up Altadis. and was like, "Listen, do not send her back to my store anymore." And she never came back.
That stuff happens, you know.
It is what it is, unfortunately.
It's tough, man. It's really tough, dude. You're especially being a boutique brand, man. It's like bringing it's not even like bringing a gun to a knife fight. It's like bringing a gun to to like a missile. I mean, that's what it feels like.
It's true, and you know, it's hard for boutiques because, like, a lot of them, I've seen some boutique companies that wanted me to work with them, and I'm like, well, you know, the shop's asking me what's your minimum order or what's this. They're like, oh, you got to get 5 of each, and he was like, no, you know, places are like, no, I'm not doing that because you know, they don't want to bring in 5 of each facing, and then they don't sell, and now they're sitting on, you know, 20 boxes.
Yeah, I've always been. It's funny. People have a minimum order. I typically on the first order tell them I have a maximum order on the first time because I don't want you to go spend a ton of money and then you're looking at it for whatever reason it's not moving fast enough or it's not moving whatever, and then you start mother effing me.
Right.
Let's just start small and build together, man.
Exactly.
And just give the brand a fair shot. That's all I ask.
And that's what I tell, you know, that's why like some of the people that we try to help out or we broker for, as people call it, without being, you know, we're the middleman, but we don't carry the product. Like we just, if we give them your cigar and they like it, I go, hey, listen, here's his email, here's his card, you know, email him and work it out.
Right.
And everybody we've dealt with so far is everybody's like, you know, we have no minimum order. You know, if they want to order 1 box just to try it, we order 1 box and go from there.
So here's the thing.
After that 1 sells, you up it to 2. And then, you know, from there, you just keep moving.
Here's the thing, right? It's a fine line because you still want somebody to give the brand a fair shot. And because if they're not incentivized to try to move the product, then there's got to be some skin in the game on both sides, I guess is what I'm saying.
Right.
And you want a fair representation of your brand, right? So like if I have 5 lines, you don't got to bring in all 5.
Right.
You at least bring in 3. You know what I mean? Like pick 3 that you think appeal to your customer base.
Right.
And give the brand a fair shot. But man, it's tough, dude. It's tough. But you said something that really you said when you blend the cigars and whatever, and it can't just be your
you're blending your palate, but at the same time blending for everybody else.
Correct. So what I found over time, man, is that if you want to truly believe in what you're putting out, man, that little jingle sounds like the beginning of like a Bone Thugs and Harmony song. But anyway, the key for me is that yes, it's my palate, but understanding who it might appeal to.
Right.
But it's got to be my palate. Because I think when you start to try to be something to other people, you're going to lose yourself. Correct. And you don't want to do that. Now, the thing is, I smoke a bunch of different cigars. I like to smoke everything, especially like new stuff from brands that I like, because you don't want your palate to become one dimension. Right? So you could see through the evolution of the brand, you'll see like differences in the way things are approached and things like that. But you got to have a signature too, right? Like my signature, every Patina has Connecticut broadleaf in it or Pennsylvania broadleaf or something, to whether as a wrapper, binder, filler, something, right? That's kind of like, but you start trying to be something to other people, that's a very dangerous, in my opinion. That's very dangerous because
because you're trying to blend something that you wouldn't normally smoke yourself.
It's not from the heart.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, when you're a boutique brand, man, everything's got to be from the heart.
It does, and especially, for the people who smoke stronger bodies, that own their own companies.
Mm-hmm.
The Connecticut's, from what I've heard, is usually one of the tougher ones to blend because you don't want that strong, peppery, Maduro flavoring, but you still want it to have that. You still want it to have a bite, but you also want it to be enough to where somebody new to smoking would be able to smoke that and handle it.
Absolutely.
And
it's tough.
That's a big thing.
But that's what makes it fun.
Guys, well, we're going to take a quick message and we'll be right back.
All right.
Yo, so I keep telling y'all, the boss knows every motherfucking body. Keep telling y'all that. So guess who showed up at the hotel here in Connecticut? And y'all not gonna believe this shit. Joe, they ready for this shit, Joe?
I don't know. Are they?
Y'all not gonna believe this shit, but I'm gonna show y'all who showed up. This is the CEO and founder of NESS.
And one half of the
My man.
Sports Show.
Go ahead, man.
What's going on, fellows out there? Glad to be here with my favorite wrestling podcast. I love these guys. They're unique. They're funny. And I'll tell you, they know a lot about wrestling. You got to go to the Roku channel. Yeah, all you got to do, channel search on Roku TV, channel search National Streaming Sports, and you'll get their show.
So, Mac, let me ask you this. So, they can't find it. It's like the Pat McAfee show. Once ESPN take that shit off for the hour, it's done.
That's right. That's right.
So if you're not gonna watch from 11 to 12:30, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. It's like being a barn. Wait, it's like being a barn smoker. If you ain't got your fucking ticket, you ain't getting in.
I know what to tell you.
Go ahead.
Go to the Turnbuckles and Stogies podcast YouTube page, and you can watch all of our back episodes from episode 5 and on.
But
the originals are on the MB Radio YouTube page.
Let me tell you something else. Go where people know. 12,430 followers.
Whoa!
On the Roku channel.
Whoa!
1,600 views a day.
I feel like Elizabeth.
I'm telling you.
Elizabeth, fat Sanford, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, I'm coming, Elizabeth.
I mean, you don't get any better than that.
Sports all day, every day, to include my favorite wrestling podcast.
Well, and there you have it, guys. Our producer from Connecticut, Mr. Mac Attack himself. And God bless us. Yo, we'll see y'all. We took a Sunday off. So we'll see y'all next week. Have a good day, guys.
All right.
Yo, what is up? What is up? Yo, your favorite fucking podcast here. Turnbuckles and Stogies Pod. The Big Dog. The Vanilla Gorilla, and we are here with Mo Patina from Patina Cigars.
So now, let me ask you this, because I asked this to everybody that we have on. Out of the cigars that you've made,
what's your favorite?
Which one is your favorite or your go-to? Now, I know the passion is in all of them. I know everybody says, well, they're all my favorites, but I know each person has one specific one that they go to more than others.
Come on, don't
he's
wait.
Thinking,
I'm trying to be. I want to give you a real answer. I'm trying to think this through. Okay, so the Connecticut is my best seller, but probably the one that I smoke the least. Right?
That's I've heard from a lot of people is sometimes the best sellers are the ones you don't smoke often.
Right. Part of that is because you want to keep the inventory.
Right.
So look, you want an honest answer, right? So the other part of it is inventory. What do I have a good amount of inventory of? That's part of it. But I would say, with all of the considerations and what I smoke, probably the Sumatra.
Okay.
Yeah,
and now which one is that?
It comes in a blue box.
Okay, that's the blue one.
Yep, probably the Sumatra.
Okay.
And to me, that cigar is like what I call like a chain smoker. Not like the EDM band, but like the
right.
Because it's got the perfect amount of flavor.
People that light up cigars back to back to back to back.
I believe that cigar is that.
Which one means the most to you?
Probably the Oro. Actually, the Oro de Nicaragua, just because of the history.
Right.
But my next line that's coming out is actually the most personal and meaningful of all of them.
Okay. Now, I know you said you had a collaboration project coming out. Is that the one that you were just saying is the most meaningful, or is that?
Well, that one's meaningful too in a different way. But
okay.
No, this is going to be a core line.
Okay.
And that way, it's going to be very meaningful.
So they can expect at least that one and the collaboration project as well at some point this year.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
there's two releases essentially coming out.
Yes.
Yeah, but the collaboration is only going to be 3,000 cigars. It's going to be 300 bundles of 10.
Just 3,000. That's it.
It's a limited run.
Yeah, it's a very limited
How
run.
about you do 3,100?
Now, are you doing
3,100? Yeah.
Are you doing boxes of 16 again, or are they going to be boxes?
No, they're going to be bundles of 10.
Bundles of 10. Okay.
On those, yeah. On the core lines there. Limited's where you have fun, right?
Right.
Like that is those are projects that either, you use some tobaccos that aren't always readily available, or you whatever, and you make what you can and give somebody, man, because at the end of the day, there are people that have been loyal to your brand. I mean, if you look at the guys that smoke Patina, and if you look at my posts or whatever, the guys that I fuck with, man, it's genuine. Like, we're legitimate friends. Like, we met because these guys smoke Patina and whatever, or have listened to the Sultans of Smoke, and we used to do it regularly.
Right.
But there's something genuine about the brand that people gravitate towards. I'm a very no bullshit person. I'm not a pretentious type of person. I don't give a fuck what you do or who you are, or whatever. Like, if you're cool, you're cool. We'll fuck with each other.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But if you're a dick, dude, I'm sorry. I just don't have time for you. I don't care. I don't care how
you say, yo, dude. I'm sorry.
It's true though.
It's it.
Because that's why a lot of people
don't fuck with us.
A lot of people don't what we're doing because we are doing what we're doing, being who we are, and we've got, two
100%.
two different Roku networks right now, one on Amazon as well. Where these guys are like, well, I could have done that, but I didn't. Well,
everybody says that.
We have friends of ours that were on talk to them and they're like, oh, they're doing it. I could have did that. Well, why didn't you?
Everybody thinks they could do what you're doing.
And the answer they always get is, well, I didn't want to sell out. They go, those guys didn't sell out. They're doing the same fucking thing they were doing. They just took it to a different level, a bigger scale. Like our Roku network that we are on, that we got on for sports. It's a sports network. But they brought us on because they liked our content.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't changed anything. We took it from just a YouTube show and a Facebook show to now it's being seen on Roku with 1,600 to 2,000 viewers at any given point.
Yeah,
4,000 to 16,000 people that view it that view the app or that view the shows on there every day. Like,
there is a genuine. You guys are genuine. I mean, think about how you open up the show.
Right.
Think about, I hate to say it, and I guess we shouldn't use swear words or whatever.
Well,
but there's a feeling of when somebody swears, there's a feeling of genuineness.
Because it shows that you're a normal person.
Yes.
You're not putting on a persona or a gimmick just to do the podcast. I tell everybody, what you see is what you get. Do I curse a lot? Oh, I absolutely do.
Yeah.
I said sometimes I try to tone it down. I said because I do have a tendency to, every other word is a curse word. I said, so yeah, you got to dial it back.
Right.
You don't have to completely cut the shit out. Like you dial it back instead of, this fucking thing is fucking. You just, hey, you talk, oh shit, fuck that, and you keep it moving.
Right.
You don't got to say it after every single word.
You ever watch, a show and it's the best shows are the ones that are believable.
Yes.
Right? Like TV shows, right?
Yes.
They're cast well, meaning the people playing the role, it is believable that they could be in that role.
Absolutely.
The way they talk and communicate with each other is as if they were somebody that you may encounter on the street, right? When it comes off as too scripted, it loses.
Right.
It loses that realness that people want to feel, man. We live in an age of social media, of people don't even pick up the phone and call each other anymore. Right. Everything's a text message. Everything is so distanced. And so people are yearning to feel real about stuff.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And that's why a lot of people tell us, we watch your show because of that aspect is it is just you guys. And, we tell everybody, we're just two average guys who took two things that we do. We smoke cigars and we wrestle. We put them together.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just two average guys who smoke cigars who happen to be able to take it and turn it into sort of a business.
100%.
And because, a lot of people like, well, how did that? I said, well, a lot of wrestlers smoke cigars and a lot of cigar smokers are wrestling fans.
Yeah.
So let's just bring everybody together to one damn place and just have one spot.
CM Punk grew up down the street from me. And not like in the same neighborhood, but I mean like 10 minutes away.
And he's still there.
He's still there, man. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like Cody Rhodes is a cigar smoker. Frankie Kazarian, they have their own line. Like,
that's right. Yeah, Cody Rhodes does.
Devon's getting ready to put his own cigars out.
Yeah.
El Artista, like that's what people like. Bully Ray, Bubba smokes cigars. It's you don't realize how many people smoke until you really start paying attention.
So listen, Mo, we appreciate you coming on. It's almost time for us to sign off.
Yeah.
So my brother, appreciate you. I take my hat off to you.
No, man, thank you guys. The opportunity is I appreciate it. Again, without guys like you, it's already hard to get the word out. If without you guys doing stuff like this, it's impossible. So thank you guys very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, my brother.
We'd love to have you back on when the new cigars come out for sure.
Absolutely.
Let me when they come out or you want to come back on and you have them, you let me know.
100%, man.
We'll set up another day for sure.
Absolutely. And please send me your addresses. Or I guess I'll just send it to one of you, I guess, whatever.
Yeah, I'll send you the address.
Sounds good. All right. Not of where you're at, because that's undisclosed.
Right.
That's the safe house.
Yeah,
so just, where you want them shipped. Yeah. All right, man.
All right.
All right, Mo.
All right, guys. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Another episode of Turnbuckles and Stogies Pod with your host, the Big Dog, the Vanilla Gorilla. And, we'll check y'all out next Sunday. Check us out. Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.